you guys are all coming back together.
Yeah.
So then Dylan and I, once we've done service, we won't come back out, but I'm coming in with that rental car and he's coming in with his own car.
Yeah, correct. So, and you guys, that road that we half turned into, then just go down that road and that'll take you to the junction. Yeah. That's a fucking cool road. Yeah, the afternoon one. Yeah. And then you know where the end of the last stage is, the man paid for it. I'll point it out to you when we go in this back. Nah, because they're not going up to Rangi, so it's... No, they don't go up that fast. They stop on the tarmac. That thing's like caves. I'll point it out to you. No, it's... Oh, yeah. Sorry, yeah. Oh, yeah. Settle up, Phil.
Right, let's do it, fellas. Yeah, see you, boys. You sure you don't want to do it?
Oh, I'll be good for the second one. That was good. That was the best one we've done, I reckon. Yeah. Best one I've been doing.
Head top fuel up the tan. Is there enough fuel for tan?
Oh, no.
There's no other feeling when I'm next to you. No one else around, just a space for two. There's no better feeling when I'm close to you. I look into your eyes as an ocean blue. When I'm down, you lift my feet off the ground. There's no other feeling when I'm next to you. No one else around, just a space for two. There's no better feeling when I'm close to you. I look into your eyes
Let's be honest. You want to rent a car from someone who'll see you right. So here's a few reasons to put Omega Rental Cars top of your list. Do we have a modern fleet, all fully checked and ready to roll?
Yes, we do.
Do we offer keen prices, unlimited Ks, and free additional drivers?
Yes, you do.
And do we support New Zealand motorsport because we love cars? And maybe to look a bit flash.
Yes, you do.
There you go. Omega Rental Cars, your upfront and honest car rental company.
And a big welcome back to the International Rally of Whangarei, our final round of the Brian Green Property Group New Zealand Rally Championship, and it is, of course, Championship Sunday, Dylan Turner.
Oh, it's starting to get exciting, isn't it? I mean, we're going to crown another champion. It's either going to be third time for Benny Boy or 8th time for Hayden Paddon. So starting to come down to the wire. Of course, only a few stages left. Exciting times.
Absolutely, and as it sits, Ben Hunt doing plenty. He is second for the day. He is second for the rally. He's only 2.5 seconds ahead of Dylan Thompson for the day, though. I think we had a bit of a debrief last night and potentially expected Emma Gilmore to rush back through. We saw her making time on Dylan throughout yesterday. Dylan had some issues on the super special stage, lost some time, and conceded that third place for the leg by just 0.4 of a second. But he's been storming this morning in that Subaru. Yeah,
Dylan's flying, and I'm not sure if Emma's just, consolidating or, sometimes the stages just don't quite suit you, but I'm sure we'll see a bit of a comeback from Emma Gilmore.
Yeah, absolutely. That one definitely won't be lost, and that's the battle we're really watching. 13.6 seconds between the pair for that final spot on the podium. Jeez, good start to the morning for me. Old Dill's already warmed up. I just jumped in cold and already had me first stumble.
Yeah, no, it's exciting, and I mean we're probably not too far away from Hayden Paddon coming into shot. Like I say, we're about a third into the stage, are we, BB?
Yeah, I think so. So 16 Ks, it's probably 5-6K in here. Man, he looked good in here this morning, didn't he? That first pass. I was watching just at the junction here. You were obviously on the live stream, but just the commitment, one solid break.
He's polished, isn't he? I mean, just perfect lines. I mean, I think I can hear him coming, but just so tidy, so committed. Never looks like putting a foot wrong, and I don't think people understand just how hard that is to do.
So just recapping those results after Special Stage 12, which was where we last saw you. This is Special Stage 13. So it is Hayden Paddon with a 3-minute 21.3 second lead over Ben Hunt. That won't be enough for Ben to clinch the championship.
And here he comes into view.
As we see Hayden Paddon, Jared Hudson.
Look at the angle there, just beautiful. Nicely in. Turns it in, gets it rotated, power down nicely. Once again, uses all of the road and some. Perfect angle, though, to get that power down nice and early. Sorry to talk over you, BB, but I wish we could see that crest, because I just know he's going over that crest absolutely flat.
He was the only one that was flat over that crest.
There you go.
In the first pass this morning.
Yep.
So it'll be interesting to see if a lot of them were going over the crest. We could hear them. As I said, we were just standing watching at the junction, both myself and Darren Galbraith. And a lot of them were getting back on the gas. You could hear them lift and then get over the crest and go, oh, okay, we can go a bit more. So,
and, of course, it's so annoying as a driver, and it's that first pass worry, I mean, obviously the grip's going to be so much better, and you could tell there was heaps more grip. But you get up to that crest, you didn't take it flat, and you're annoyed at yourself. But this time round, they're going to know it's flat. So, yeah.
And so they run this stage for a third time this afternoon. That's pretty unique. Like, that's going to be just about qualifying laps.
It's almost rally sprint territory where, your third time through a rally sprint, it's starting to get a bit scary.
I mean, obviously, we see the times, but how much of it's grip in the road, how much of it is confidence in the notes in the car, and how much of it becomes muscle memory as well?
I think with Hayden, it doesn't really matter. It's he's on that level of just the top level. With the rest of us, I think it does come down to that grip, gives you a bit more confidence. Memory of the road definitely helps when you're more in that novice situation. But with Hayden, of course, he listens to the notes and he drives every corner to that maximum attack of the notes. He's been coming into play. Ben's looks so good as well, so tidy, beautifully committed on that corner. Coming up, late break, he'll flick it in.
And you can already see, Hayden, we see use all the road, and you touched on, while we were chatting before the first run, the camber of that road and the way it dips away. So to actually commit to using all of that road is not as simple as it sort of seems, is it?
No, and what people don't understand, and I said this on the first cross, is that it's a blind entry. You're coming up and you've probably got a 5 or 6 metre climb into the corner, so you can't see the apex, you can't see the exit. All you can see is kind of the crowd, really. So it's a blind faith turn in. You don't want to turn in too late, you don't want to turn in too early. And then you can't remember how wide the road is. Obviously you've got the hindsight and the benefit of notes to tell you there's nothing on the exit of the corner, so you can push hard, but it's still that blind faith, and that's the part of rallying that is addictive. It really is. It just gets you back every time, because you breathe in as you turn in and you hope like heck, and then you breathe out as you exit going fuel.
And the rush is just
yeah, nothing like it. As Possum said, nothing like it with your clothes on.
Yeah, most fun you can have with your pants on.
Yeah,
100%.
that's the one.
So this should be Emma Gilmore and Malcolm Reid.
I'm hoping Emma's right on the limit, because she's in a big battle, and it would be great to see her stick to that podium. With Malcolm, of course, my favourite co-driver. Had him for a long time. He's such a superstar now, working for M Sport.
Yeah, he certainly made himself an invaluable part of that World Rally team, hasn't he? So
they love him. They love him over there.
Great that he's able to actually come back.
And here she comes.
A little bit funny seeing the UK flag against his name on the entry list. But
Emma, nice and cool. Gee, she was wide through there. She's really trying. Nice and straight. Look at that. You used a bit more of the road. I think Emma's going to be up on this stage. That's definitely a bit more of a push from her. She's obviously seen Dylan's time, and she thought, you know what? I'm going to go for it. Because that was beautiful exit speed on that second corner that we see in the cameras. So, exciting stuff.
And the reality is that it's a reasonably short tour between the first stage of the morning and the second stage. And with Dylan Thompson starting in the national field rather than the international field, there's every probability that she wouldn't have seen Dylan Thompson's time in that first stage. And no one drives out of a stage and sort of. Well, I guess you know if you've had a good run or not, but sometimes you feel like you've had a good run, and then you see the times. And
the times. And I tell you what, Malcolm's a little general. He'll be in that car, and he'll be telling Emma, look, we had a little bit of a loss here. We had a little bit of time there. You can take this a little bit quicker. And it's good having that person that doesn't second guess your ability, but just pumps you up a little bit, primes you up. Next car must be coming into shot.
So it should be Mike Young, and he was sitting third overall yesterday until an electrical problem after the last proper special stage. Of course, we had the two passes of the Pauи Island Super Special stage. So he hasn't missed a stage, but because he missed a time control and retired, he copped a 10-minute penalty, basically, and that's just dropped him right down the order. And
it's disappointing. I mean, Mike's been just great, hasn't he, all weekend? Yeah. Showed his talent.
Massive talent, and not one we've seen a whole heap through the Brian Green Property Group New Zealand Rally Championship. Done it, and even just in New Zealand, he's really
just coming into play now.
I guess tuned his tuned his skills and
nice turn in there.
Yeah.
Gee, see that grip in the rear as he flicks it back the other way. Nice and straight on the entry there, and that is kind of Mike Young. He doesn't flick the car around as hard. He's very smooth, very sort of Richard Mason, Sebastian Loeb sort of style of driving.
Yeah, very noticeable in that first pass that he really, the first 3 cars were all dipping the front left wheel.
Yes.
And really not over rotating the car, but
leaning on the rear.
Yeah,
definitely.
Whereas Mike was more of a straight entry and just that one turn. And
Mike's just got a very neat and tidy driving style. You could see the difference between Emma and Mike. You know, Emma was pushing, and when you push, you do start to drive with the rear of the car. I think it builds you with a bit of confidence. You know, understeer when you're pushing is probably the thing you don't want as a top class driver.
When you get that oversteer, you feel like you can drive it back around. You
can control oversteer. Understeer, you know, man, obviously you can control it as well, but it generally happens with the brake. And you don't want to touch the brakes. You know, your exit of the corner, you want full power down.
So just seeing some split times. Ben Hunt, 6.9 seconds down on Paddon at the 6.4k split. So he's on that sort of pace we've seen all weekend, around that second a kilometre. Emma Gilmore another 1.5 back, so
it's not too bad though. She's closed that up. She was about 3 on the first pass, I think, behind Benny.
Yeah. So she's definitely, as you said, it was visibly faster, wasn't it?
100%. Yep, you could see she was on a push. Mike Young just fractionally quicker than her though on the split time. What is he? Half a second quicker, I can see. So nothing in that. That'll be interesting to see who comes out on top at the end.
Yeah, I mean, half a second, it can be so hard to make up as we see Jack Hawkswood and Jason Farmer.
Jack was quick. Oh, look at the push there. Holy smoke, that was wide.
And he just used that sort of berm on the outside, didn't he?
That's replay material. We've got to see that again. Jack pushing hard as anything. You know, that's just brilliant driving, coming in there, absolute late break, last second, blind corner, and just flicks it in. Look at the dust too. That's because he's gone through bits of the road that no one's seen all day.
Yeah, which is interesting, speaking with some of the locals, and they were sort of saying some of the lower seated cars today were almost flicking up more dust, but it's because you could see the lines getting progressively narrower and narrower on the entry. As here we go, Jack Hawkswood, look at that.
Just beautiful. Look at the pace, and bang, he just clips the exit of the road there twice. Yep. But that straightens you up, and to be fair, you don't scrub a lot of speed from that, but you quite often use it a bit like a speedway driver uses the cushion, they call it, you know, to push you back into line. That was maximum attack from Jack, and I think the spectators loved it.
Yeah, it'd be great to see Jack pull together a full campaign in the Brian Green Property Group New Zealand Rally Championship, hopefully next year.
We know he's got the talent, you know. I mean, he's definitely quick. He's slightly down on the splits on the first split. So I've got, obviously Benny was 6.9 behind Hayden. You've got Mike Young a further 2 seconds back, and then Hawkswood just a 0.5 back on Mike Young, and then Emma, 0.2 of a second back on young Hawkswood. So you could throw a tablecloth over those, over third, fourth, and fifth there.
Yeah, it's phenomenal, isn't it? That what they're all playing for. You know, 1/10 of a second between 3 cars at the first split.
Just crazy.
And the way that they generate that speed can be so entirely different. You know.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it all comes down to that ground speed and bravery, but bravery can also be slow. You know, I mean, you come in too hot, overcook the corner, and it's slow.
You got to temper that enthusiasm.
And that's it, because, I mean, you're just introducing risk that you don't really need to. Who's our next car through?
Should be Rahan Verza, our Indonesian visitor. And hopefully we'll be seeing a bit more of him in 2025.
I think is there talk of a couple of Indonesian crews coming to the championship next year.
Yeah, I was just talking with a few of their team members during that first pass, and yeah, sounds like there might be a few of them. It's a fairly strong rallying scene in Indonesia at the moment, and Rahan's is their current champion, won their championship this year, so he's awesome. The cream of the crop, and once he got over those gearbox problems, I think he's been building his pace throughout the last day or so.
Of course, our roads are totally different to the Indonesian roads, and that's the pull for them to come to our championship. It's a well-run championship by yourself, Blair, and Simon Bell. And the pull for them is, the organisation skill, the sporting side of rallying in New Zealand strong. And, of course, our roads are just second to none.
That's it. Like, I know that we talk so much about it, and it's so cliche, but even just touring to some of the stages over the weekend, and you end up on some of the bits of road which have been used in special stages in the past, and you can't help but get excited, and that's just in the Omega rental car,
I know. We're very lucky. I mean, we're very blessed. The roads in New Zealand, the best camber, the most grip. I've been nowhere else in the world to drive, but you don't really need to once you've driven our roads. And here he comes into view.
So that's, if it looks familiar, that's the car we've seen Todd Borden in over the last few seasons.
Nicely through, no risk, dips the front there, good braking, straight on the gas.
A lot more committed second time round, so definitely building that confidence.
Like I say, blind entry, and I just don't think people understand it. The cars never look as quick from outside as what they do from inside.
And the other thing with that blind entry, it's not like you've got a metre of grace, is it?
No, you really don't have a lot. It's if you're a metre wide on the exit of this corner, it's off camber, and you know what it's like when it's off camber. If you put your foot on the brake and panic, you're just going to be in the weeds.
And likewise, if you're a metre too far in, there's every chance you're on your roof.
And that's it. You don't want to cut it. It's a reasonably consistent curve, and that is one good thing about our roads is we don't have a lot of tightens, in junctions. The road makers back in the day, they were flipping geniuses because...
Get that man a beer.
Get him a beer, exactly. My dad told me they used to get $10 more each corner than they did for a straight, so that's why we've got so many corners in our country. Got some results. So obviously Hayden's won the stage, and then you've got Ben back 15 seconds behind him in a 16-second stage, so consistent for that. Just under a second, okay. You got Emma Gilmore back in third. I think she might be under a little bit of pressure to keep that third so far. Mike Young's just pipped her with 16.9, so a second and a half back from Hunt, and Emma's back on 24 seconds behind Hayden, so 6-7 seconds behind Mike Young.
Jack Hawkswood's last split through half a second off Young, 2.9 up on Gilmore, so we expect him to slot in.
Yeah, well, he was visibly quicker. And their next competitor now?
This is Tim and Lauren Mackesy. They're down to, have they got any wing mirrors on the car? They knocked both of them off.
Still got the co-driver's side. That's unusual. Nicely through that bump.
Left-hand drive, mate. That's why. You saw Tim, he came back to the Super Special yesterday and says, has anyone seen my wing mirror? Knocked it off on the
It dangled there for a long time, didn't it? Gosh, great commitment, not the cars of the AP4s and the R5s, but fantastic to see that commitment through that, once again, blind entry corner.
Fair point that we didn't pick up on. That's why we have people doing things, but we haven't seen Zeel Jones. He's out of order. He's still showing at the start of the stage here, so not quite sure what's going on there. We will work as hard as we can to bring you that information.
Just back to the results, you've got Mike Young, like I say, a second behind Benny, and Hawkswood slots in between Emma on 19 seconds, so 3 seconds back from Mike Young. It surprises me a little bit because Mike Young looks so nice and tidy, but for me, Hawkswood look quicker.
He definitely carried more ground speed through here, but again, that's a graphic example of what we were talking about, right? Where sometimes
a little bit untidy.
Yep.
And, Peter Perfect, Mike Young was just so tidy, wasn't he? And
he is, isn't he? He's just... And I guess that's probably, a lot of his developments through the Asia Pacific Rally Championship, and when you
two-wheel drive cars in the wet and mud,
when you're up on some of those Malaysian and Indonesian roads, and even Japan and stuff like that, you do have to be inch perfect.
Yep. Of course, Malcolm was his co-driver for many a year, and Malcolm said to me he's very clever, just in the way he drives, the way he understands the car, the way he puts that power down. He just fully understands how to get ground speed, and that's what rallying's about. Hawkswood, of course, just raw talent, just loves to get that car sideways. He's
a chip off the old block, isn't he?
His dad's exactly like that. I mean, we've all had many a day watching Mr. Hawkswood Senior.
He was seen spectating yesterday.
I believe in a cowboy hat.
Yes.
Nice. Not much else.
Not much else, yes. As we see Takahashi-san, the Rally 4 Fiesta.
The Japanese drivers coming up, nice on the brakes, nice and tidy.
Yeah. It is one of the great things about having the Asia Pacific Rally Championships and the like. The international entries we've got. Rahan Verza over from Indonesia, Takahashi from Japan. We're about to see Naveen Paligala from India. Lost one of our Vanuatu drivers this morning.
That's
Pierre-Henri Brunet, and he was joined by another Japanese driver in the same spot with Kanishi.
Oh, so they both crashed in the same spot, did they?
Same spot, yeah.
Oh, no, I hope Mal had that flippin' Zika out.
Yeah, well, it sounds like, from what Mal said, that he might have still been getting back to the road, because he said it was Turner style of air.
Yeah, I heard that. I don't know if that's an insult or a compliment.
I think it's saying it's a job well done. Of course, I think Mal's done, one rally with you?
Yeah, and that kind of ended in tears. I asked him if he wanted to do another one, and he said he was busy. He had flower pressing classes or something on that weekend.
And if he didn't, he was about to.
Exactly. Of course, we did a shout out to our volunteers and young Marcus Adam in the service park there. Bit of a shout out to him. I hope you're having a great day, mate.
So many volunteers that make this event happen, and you and I actually jumped on the tongs last night
on the barbecue. Yep.
Poor old Dylan, his mascara had run down his face after he'd chopped all the onions.
I don't know how I got stuck on the onions, but yeah, all good.
I just turned up for the glory jobs, yeah. Twist, turn,
3 hours of cooking onions, I tell you. I was flipping. I saw her cutting onions. Yeah, I'm going home to my wife, and she's going to go, "Why do you smell of onions?"
I'd be more concerned that she's going to go, "What, you can cook?"
Yeah, that too. She knows I can't.
So this is Naveen Paligala. And, of course, he's joined the Whangarei Property Group New Zealand Rally Championship while he's here as well. So great to have him a part of the series.
Are they coming back next year at all?
Don't know yet. Hopefully.
Good corner speed. Jeez, he just looked like he was plodding up the hill there, and then all of a sudden you look at his ground speed and he's through that corner.
Yeah, it's all about carrying momentum. Just a little 1.6 litre engine, and that I'm not sure if that's the exact car, but Mike Young did a lot of his learning in those Protons.
He did, yeah. Those Protons are a cool car. Great car to start with. It's all about carrying your ground speed, which teaches you good disciplines in rallying, and you'd be surprised how fast you can go through a corner before you have to sort of chuck it sideways.
So Verza's time through just over a minute off that of Paddon as he continues his learning expedition, and not a lot to prove. So it's hard, isn't it? Tricky to temper without that competitive. When you've dropped out and you haven't got that
nothing to play for.
Yeah,
it's and it is. It's demoralising rejoining. You're happy that you're back in the rally, but that competitive spirit's gone. It's just kind of driving a bit for fun. Sometimes you can produce some of your best times when you've got no pressure on yourself and you're just out there for fun. But generally that's on your second passes. You've got a lot of catching up to do. The guys, when we look at Hayden at Otago, he's probably already done 4 or 5 rallies. And, for people like Ben and Emma and the rest of the field, they're playing catch-up to his rallies. They're only just now, 6 rounds later, getting to where Hayden was at Otago.
And Hayden's done a full European Rally
And that's
Championship
it.
at the same time. So.
You know, and there's no... the more you drive, the quicker you get.
Yep.
We're going into some highlights. Cool. Some replays. Hayden
Paddon, and
using so fast. Well, he clipped the exit too there a bit.
Yeah,
Jack
he was using a lot more of the road.
Thought.
What a spectacular shot that is! The way they dipped through that last left-hander.
It's impressive. And you see how it unsettles the car, as they're down on that suspension. Emma looks tighter. Like I say, Emma looked really fast to me. Definitely visibly quicker than the first pass. Maybe that's grip. Maybe that was because she'd seen Dylan's time.
You talk about the way that it unsettles the car there, but you can almost use that as an advantage, can't you, to help rotate the car?
Well, it pops up, and when you get that unsprung weight, that's when you can change the direction pretty quickly. That's just a beautiful rotation there, and that's a perfect sign of how you get that unsprung weight to rotate the rear of the car. As Scafey says, he's fully sideways.
It's all about the droop restriction. Rallying's completely the opposite, right? You want as much droop as you can.
I'd really love to see him commentate on rally cars, because every car, he's sideways as well.
Right out sideways.
Mate, those V8s aren't even sideways. Come on.
Be great to hear Mark Scaife referencing the young New Zealander Brian Green.
Yeah, exactly.
You make,
young up-and-comer.
You make your own fun of the on the live stream.
You do.
So just obviously the 5 minute safety gap between the international and the national fields here. So we will see Dylan Thompson up next.
Looking forward to that. Feel free to, in the messages, let us know who your favourite driver is. Let us know who you thought took that corner well. Some pretty impressive driving. The New Zealand Rally Championship, I've only been doing it for 20 years, and I've seen a few changes in those 20 years. But Hayden Paddon in the last 8 or 9 years has definitely professionalised our game.
So we got the full Adams clan there.
Oh, geez, I'm getting messages from our head office that Zane Adams as well in HQ, another volunteer. I've got to thank the whole Adams family. So a little bit of background on our volunteers before our next car comes along. 18 years ago, at the time starts, Mr. Adams had little babies on his backpack, and those boys, the three of them, were starting the rally cars, and we've watched them grow up. We've met so many families in rallying, but the Adams family, as they're called. Yeah, there's no Wednesday in there. We've grown up with those boys, and of course, great for the sport. Now in rally control, start controls. Awesome.
Block marshals like we see on screen.
Yeah. So without these young gentlemen, we would not be able to rally. They stop people from coming into the stage.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, how much trust you put so much trust into the fact that nothing's coming the other way.
Yeah. Well, of course, you got the taping guys, so you can see behind them's the tape. So they go through and set the arrows up, set the whole stage up prior to, and some of these boys are getting up at 3 and 4 in the morning. They're taping off all the gates, so no farmers, because obviously we're driving through public roads, and a farmer comes down to get a coffee in the morning, and his gate's taped up. Of course, we've given them notice, and we've given them letter drops, so they know the road's closed. But that's what our taping guys do.
Just one of so many roles that go into making these events happen. They really are a mammoth undertaking.
Here comes Dylan
and Baden
Thompson. The white pointer.
And they will have been able to watch.
Beautiful, look at that.
Oh,
just lovely. Hard on the brakes, flicks it sideways, gets the rotation happening in the rear, carries great speed. Didn't use all of the road there, but just looks so nice and tidy. Stayed on the high side, didn't drop onto the crown.
Has to be a contender for the MRF driver of the rally, you'd think. The way things are sitting at the moment.
I mean, like I say, it's a good car. It's not a great car. It's not an AP4. It's not an R5.
10 years ago, that would have been a very good car. That'd be right at the top end.
Yeah, man, that white pointer's beaten me a few times up north, like I say, with Benny driving it. but still you've got to, yes, he's got probably a little bit more horsepower and he's got a pretty good gearbox, but it still is a pretty production car,
Rallying's not obviously horsepower's always useful.
If you can get it to the ground, it's not like a track, it's an inconsistent grip, so horsepower's good, but it can actually also defeat the purpose. Some people turn their cars down, unless you've got huge downforce that's going to get you that grip, and of course, we're not open class like those big hill climb cars.
No. Well, the thing is too is keeping you got to keep those aero bits on the car, and as the cars bottom out on the crown of the road and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah. You can't put too many fiddly bits on, not like a Formula 1 car, and we do quite often see that in the WRC, don't you? You see them when they lose their big wing, just how undrivable those cars become.
Absolutely, and that's it's the way they hang out the back of the car. You can have the car fully on the road and still a low hanging branch can
rip it off.
So Dylan Thompson split. He is 1.6 seconds down on Emma Gilmore to this point.
Wow, there you go. So Emma was pushing.
Yeah, game on,
Hayden
ladies and gentlemen. It's been an impressive performance from Hayden too, hasn't it?
Very good. Nice and straight as well. He impresses me with how straight. I think he's always a bit loose, but using all of the road there on the entry, and look at that, it made such a shallow exit. We kind of haven't seen that line all day.
No, not a bad tactic though, because then you're still working with the camber rather than fighting it.
And that's it. I mean, good for tyre wear.
Yep.
Like Hayden would have definitely, using all of the road, would have taken a little bit more off his tyres. Sometimes it can come down to not lifting and coasting, like they do in the supercars, but that is possibly to save his tyres a little bit. Maybe he's, doesn't want to wear them too much.
Yeah, and tyre wear, there were concerns about it. There's always concerns when you come to Whangarei, and then we're here in November rather than May, so the ground temperature's up, it's drier. It's been remarkably dry up here, speaking to a few locals last night, couple of months since they've really had a decent rainfall, but the MRF tyres have really stood up well to the challenge, haven't they?
I think so. Look, it's an unknown quantity, and I mean, it's look, we've had tyre manufacturers over the years, years back, where one of the drivers had like 5 or 6 punches, because they just got so shredded. We've seen a lot of tyres shredded, but the drivers have managed it nicely, and like I say, MRF just brings a total package to the championship that we've never seen before. There's no tyre advantage to any of the competitors, so it's outright skill and the best utilisation of those compounds is what we're seeing.
So 3 compounds in play across especially the Cat 1 competitors, the Super Soft, the Soft and the Medium. I don't think we've seen anything of the Super Soft this weekend.
No,
but
get torn to shreds.
Yeah, absolutely. And wearing out tyres is not a bad thing, because if you're not wearing them, they're not working.
No, exactly.
But by the same token, you've got to keep them on the car too, so it's that fine balance, as we see Stewie Reid and Bella Haggerty.
Beautifully over the crest, coming up, late break, tips it in, gets on the gas. That's a cool little car.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah.
He was a little bit, he was quite deep on the brakes and a little bit wide. He was a little bit narrower on the exit this time through, a little bit tidier.
Yeah, did a similar line to Hayden McKenzie, and I mean, look, that once again maybe his tyres, because if you've gone through the stage and your tyres start getting a bit mushy at the end, you know there's certain places where you can actually save your tyres, and it does come down to where you push.
So that second split through for Dylan Thompson, he's 2.4 seconds away from Emma Gilmore.
Wow, Emma's closing that gap.
Yeah, absolutely. So that gap, as it sat coming into the stage, just 13.6 seconds. After this one, there's still 4 special stages. They go off to do Waipu Caves, then they're back into town for the final service of the season. Then out to Otuhi, which was our first special stage this morning. Back here, a third pass of the Waiotira stage, which will be live streamed. The boys will move the rig, and Dylan and Budgie will be back to.
Now, the only reason why we're doing that stage 3 times 2 is, sadly enough, we had a few complaints from residents further down. and they didn't actually want to see us on their roads, which is disappointing but understandable. So we had to make some last-minute changes, which for an organiser is obviously never great, but we get to do this stage 3 times because of it. So we'll really widen the road for the locals and we'll sweep all the gravel off, and then of course the best bit is the council come in afterwards and make repairs to the roads.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there's a lot of work and a lot of integration with the local community that needs to be done, and you know, you've got to respect that some people, you know, a lot of farmers really get right in behind it. They go, fantastic, we love the rally coming past, and I get Bob and Barry around and we get the barbecue out and maybe
have a beer. It's great social. Look at this over the crest. Real floaty crest, that one. It's beautiful, and this is one of my favourite cars. You listen to the anti-lag.
Jay Pittham's JP Vandermees.
Beautiful.
Great to have them as a part of the championship this year.
Yeah, I mean, just a great team, cool car. Yeah. You know, like I say, every time I see it go past me, I just think of Possum and you think of Colin. You know, the car that probably got me into rallying back in 95, you know, when he did the 3-year sweep in the Impreza. Yeah, man, that's such a cool part of rallying history in New Zealand, the Impreza. Oh, we've got a lovely flower on the screen.
Oh, look at that. Look at that. Hey, can you do your best Attenborough? And here you can see the yellow flower.
I'm better with cars. And with snails.
Yes.
Believe we had a whole family of snails there at one stage. Oh, we're back. Oh, we were zooming in on the cows.
We got the cows. We've got all sorts here at the International Rally of Whangarei.
Look, I've got 4 cows. Shout out to my farmer mates. Yeah. I'm pretty much a farmer now with my 4 cows on my 30 acres. A Land Cruiser for a tractor. Definitely not a farmer. I'm a real estate agent.
You want me to put that glove up where? Still
a bit of grass around up here up north. It's good. Farmers won't be having to feed out the hay.
This should be Gavin Feast, Matty Hayward.
Matty Hayward, our Mount Maunganui resident. These guys look great in the first pass. Nicely over the floaty crest.
Gav's really come on leaps and bounds. I mean, he'd done 2 rallies before he started his NZRC campaign this year. And he's been one of the big improvers. So big thumbs up to Gav there.
And you'll just see it over the years, you know, the speed increase, it's what happens. It's, you know, hopefully you get away with a couple of moments and, you know, you just see that speed increase. Confidence, build speed. Crashes slow you down. Then you got to go to the bank.
They slow you down in so many ways.
They do. So we had Dylan Thompson at the end. He was, just a second down on Emmy,
9/10 of a second. So that will make that gap down to 12.7 seconds.
Fantastic. So it's all on like Donkey Kong.
4 stages to go.
4 stages to go. Going to be a big ask, I think, only pulling a second out. Look, I wish Emma all the best. Malcolm will be, he'll be the general, though. You trust me on that.
Oh, yes.
We can do it. It's only 4 seconds a stage.
Yes. I wonder if he's as diplomatic with Emma as he is with you when he thinks that you're being a little bit of a little bit delicate in your driving.
He called me a flower plenty of times. Have we got some shots of that flower again? That is a Dylan Turner flower. As you can see, the top 7 there. Hayden Paddon, of course, Ben Hunt, Dylan Thompson, Emma, Hayden McKenzie, Tim, and who's the last one there?
Tim McAsee and Naveen Paligala, the Indian visitor. So those are the times we've got through. Obviously, they'll change a bit.
So far, yes, they will.
And just looking at some maths, obviously, Ben Hunt at this stage is on track to wrap up that 3rd New Zealand Rally Championship title as we see Carter Strang, who is officially the 2024 NZRC Rookie Champion.
That's fantastic. Turns in beautifully in the Evo 10, gets the power down. Good quick exit there, nice and straight. And look, you have to drive an Evo 10 pretty straight. They remind me of a V8 supercar. They're kind of a big lump, but just without that downforce on the tail of them. But nicely done, nice and tidy.
Yeah, and it's been great to see Carter as a part of the Brian Green Property Group New Zealand Rally Championship. Done a lot of rallying for a lot of years in the mainland and always sort of made the noises about it. Great to see it happen. So, and I believe he ended up second in the Rally Challenge class as well for the year behind Andrew Graves.
Fantastic, and of course, pretty hard to beat Dougie. I mean,
he's a bit of a weapon, isn't he?
Oh, he's a sensation, and yes, his talent was wasted a little bit with Josh, I think, sitting in the co-driver's seat. It's not that Josh is no slug, but Dougie in a good car. I'd love to see it. I'd really love to see it.
Oh, absolutely. So things stay as they are. Obviously, Hayden Paddon, the one that's in contention to maybe give Ben a tickle up if he's got an issue. But it looks like, at this stage, Ben Hunt's doing everything he needs to. In terms of that battle for third place, Emma Gilmore looking really good there. So it was Robbie Stokes sitting third on 105 points coming in. Obviously, we saw him leave the road, special stage 3 yesterday. Really, really rough run with that gastro bug that they've ended up with. Zeal Jones, unfortunately, we're not quite sure why he's not here, but we saw him stuck off the road earlier on. He's also got an issue. He's at the start line of this stage, but not. So that's a real shame for.
We'll try and find out more for you.
Says that as we see Ben Cuban and Noel Maloney, the local lads. Well,
a little bit of Irish influence.
Yeah, Noel not so much a Whangarei local, but
nicely done. Nice strong corner there. Good exit speed, and they're off down the straight to that big crest. I'd love to know how many people are taking that crest flat. We'll probably update you in the next live stream.
I'll put money on more than the first time.
Yeah, I bet you're right.
We're hearing a gearbox problem for Zeal Jones. So,
oh damn,
that's a real shame. So he would have scored a couple of points. What did he score? So he may well be equal with Robbie Stokes, because I think he was third in the power stage yesterday. I'll just dial up the results on Chris Sport here.
Just while you're doing that, I've got a little question. Did Dylan Thompson buy the white pointer? I'm pretty confident he did, didn't he?
So one of his sponsors?
One of his sponsors owns it, yes.
Yeah.
And off Ben it was, yes.
Was from David Sievers.
Sorry, David Sievers.
Seen Dave in that car as recently as South Canterbury Rally.
He had some good pace in that car
yes,
too, and I don't know what his plans are, but I'd like to see him come back in something decent. I think he was a pretty good peddler.
Yeah, so Zeal Jones scored 3 power stage points. No day points, no round points, and he's not going to be up for any day points today, so he's going to be equal with Robbie Stokes in that championship battle. Now, Dylan Thompson's 22 points behind, so if I just do some quick maths and go back to... So I had a few tabs open here trying to...
Are you going good, BB?
Dylan Thompson scored 2 power stage points, which would take his total up to 84. So if he was to finish third, he would get a further 20 points and some day points. That would bump him to 4th in the championship behind Emma Gilmore.
Jeepers, there you go. Pretty good in a 2-wheel drive campaign until the last round.
Yeah, exactly right. Speaking of 2-wheel drive, this is Bryn Jones.
Oh, Bryn Jones, sorry.
Who actually wrapped up the Brian Green Properties Junior Scholarship.
Carrying great speed there, and you just see it over the crest and into the off-camber part of the corner. That's great speed in a 2-wheel drive car.
It's a shame in some ways for Bryn, because it seems to have all come together at the last event.
Yeah, and that's what happens though. And then you're pumped and primed for next season, and we're going to see them come back bigger and stronger and faster next year.
Absolutely, there's some pretty exciting rumours around that NZRC 2-wheel drive class with the Fiestas for next year. Return of another front runner, and by the sounds of it, and potentially a step up for one of the current competitors in terms of vehicles. So,
fantastic! I love a good rumour.
Yeah, I've occasionally been known to indulge in a rumour or two myself over the years. Get the old rumour mill wheels greased.
Shame about Zeal with the gearbox. It's Zeal's kind of had a bit of a fantastic start to the weekend. Second on stage 1, and then it's just not really come right for him, has it, since his little excursion. But we can see, look, Zeal's young. He's got many a year of results to come, I'm sure. 19
years old.
Fantastic,
it's crazy, isn't it? And obviously that fantastic opportunity he has ahead of him with the Toyota Gazoo Racing WRC Challenge, and then that final 6 off to Finland in December, and I'm sure that's...
Yeah, we talked about that in the first cross, like Finland. What driver wouldn't want to go to Finland? Oh. That's awesome. I mean, good on him. 19 years old. Look, I didn't start rallying till 29, so I definitely couldn't win a junior championship. I was nearly a senior.
And, another one in that NZRC two-wheel drive battle. This is Jack Stokes.
Yeah,
we talked about brother Robbie before, and hasn't Jack been amazing this season as well?
Just such great speed up there. I actually think he was quicker than
Bryn Jones.
Yeah, I think he looked a teeny bit quicker from where I could see. I'm not sure what his stage time's like. We'll have to look at some splits, I think.
Yeah, I mean, the R2 is definitely giving away a bit to the Rally 4 car.
Well, you'd think the Rally 4 would be quite a bit quicker, but he just looked quite quick in that mid-sector there. Real late brake. I don't even know if he tapped the brake, to tell you the truth. It looked like it was almost power down the whole way.
Well, those Fiestas, they are light on power, so the climb up the hill, the gravity work as a quick brake, just lift off the throttle and
True.
Off you go. But I mean, you look at that split time of Bryn Jones at 28.5 seconds off Hayden Paddon. You look at Jay Pittham's 25.9 seconds off Paddon.
That's pretty.
Gavin Feast 25. He's right in that sort of.
Yeah, right in that.
In that mix with the 4-wheel drive guys.
Nothing wrong with that. Yeah, I mean, that's only a second and a half a K, isn't it?
Carter Strang having a pretty good push through this stage. Only 6.7 seconds off Stewie Reid. Only 1.5 seconds off Hayden McKenzie. That's awesome. Pretty good going in the...
It's really good going.
In the Evo 10.
Well, he did look like he was pushing it. I mean, he looked pretty tidy the first time round, but I thought he did look just a tenth quicker up the hill.
And I guess for him too, now it's the shackles are off.
Yeah.
Part of that rally challenge, just running on the first day for championship points. This is all about fun. They've come all the way from Wallistown by Invercargill. They literally travelled the length of the country pretty much.
That's impressive.
So you might as well enjoy it while you're here.
Exactly.
This guy's been impressive
He was
this
impressive
weekend.
First pass.
Josh Keeley, birthday boy Ben Trevelyan on the notes.
Oh, excellent. Lifting a wheel there. Nice.
Good corner spin.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty good in the little H6 there. He's well up it down the straight, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to say he's flat over the crest.
Yeah.
Got to be. Had to be. We'll give him that one. Nice little wheel lift. I'm not sure if we're going to replay on that, but I've been impressed with how he's driven this weekend.
Yeah, I think we've seen him still relatively new to the rallying as we see.
Look at that weight transfer. Get ready for it. Right there, little wheel lift.
Beautiful.
Nicely done. But you can see the balance on. Look at how soft it is in the rear too. That's beautifully set up because WRX Imprezas, they do understeer a little bit. Blair Reid's going to kill me for saying that, but I'm sorry, they do understeer a little bit. So the best way is to get that weight transfer and get that weight on the front of the car. I don't know how he did that. He just understeered the whole way around there, but he carried great speed. One-wheel drive.
Yeah, I mean, the H6s, they really are a very cool platform. They're a great, cost-effective way to get into four-wheel drive rallying.
I think so, yeah.
They don't have a massive power, but they're also not underpowered. They're a nicely balanced car, and probably a really, really good stepping stone for someone, maybe out of a Fiesta to get some four-wheel drive experience or something along those lines before stepping into, an AP4 or a Rally 2 R5 sort of car.
And I think it is important to learn how to drive with understeer. A lot of drivers fear it, and to be fair, that's how you get that first initial speed, is just not having that confidence in the front of the car and stepping out of a two-wheel drive car where you will have huge turn-in and into something like that where you've got a little bit more power but a lot bigger car. Obviously it really is a great stepping stone.
Yeah, so next car should be, we may have a small gap. This is where Pierre Henri Brunet should have been. Unfortunately,
yeah, a bit of a shame about that. A little bit of a crash, but everyone is okay, which is good news.
Yeah, it's a part of the sport, but as you say, the big thing is that everyone's okay, and there's so much that goes into the safety of the cars.
Exactly.
The apparel that the guys wear, the seat belts, the seats, the roll cage, everything just works together. The head restraints. You
are so much safer in a rally car than you probably are in any other vehicle, driving on the road. So it's an unfortunate part of our sport that you do crash, and competitor safety is very, very important. And we've got the Shell.
Yes, that's James McDonald and Josh Edwards, and great to see them having had a clean run after big rebuild on that car from Bay of Plenty.
You see his confidence is coming back. Great corner speed there, just kept the flow on. Cool sounding car.
Yeah, so they take the 3-litre 6-cylinder engine out of the Outback. Put them in those. They're all
what they do.
Stock standard engines, so you can go down the wreckers and buy one for sort of $500 or $1,000.
Yeah, that's cool. And build it up.
Slots in pretty well, and it's it's a really good concept, really well controlled, developed by the team at Magnum Motorsport.
Jeff Judd,
fantastic, Smithy down there,
rally man. Yeah, of course, I do remember my early days in rallying in Simon Bell's legacy now. But, we had this engine, we blew an engine, and a real cool race motor it was. Sadly enough, whoever built it didn't do a good job. But we had an engine Alex Gilmore gave me underneath the bench, and he said, Dylan, you can just have that, because I was just a broke 20-year-old, 29 actually, but I was broke. And this little motor that we got from under the bench, man, it was just an awesome engine, just one of those engines out of the box. And Alex said to me, you're going to have to rebuild it. And I said, I haven't got the money, mate. And we got 10th the pie here with it, and we did a full season on this under the bench motor. Subaru motors they're pretty good motors.
I think they're two highlights for me. An amazing thing like, we saw James McDonald and so many people rallied around him to get that car fixed.
Yeah.
So that he could be at the final here at Rally Whangarei. There's so many stories of that where so many people just
help each other out,
bend over backwards and reach into their own wallets and to their own detriment to help people get into rallying. It's a fantastic community like that.
Well, we saw that with Hayden Paddon, when he, back in his Evo 4, when he crashed in a caught fire, remember?
That's right.
I mean, the whole South Island community got behind Hayden. What a travesty if that didn't happen. Look at what
sliding doors moments.
Well, and that's it. I mean, we all knew Hayden was a great talent, and if that didn't happen, I just don't know where New Zealand rallying would be. It's Hayden's a huge part of our sport at the moment.
So we've got the times through. Bryn Jones 6.3 seconds faster than Jack Stokes through that stage. Tim Mackesy just under 10 seconds off Bryn's pace in there. So in terms of the NZRC two-wheel drive, and Naveen Paligala there in fourth place as well.
So, there you go. I thought Stokesy had Bryn, but, Bryn obviously just carrying that little bit of different speed. Maybe the car's just that much more efficient. Doesn't look like it's going fast, but it was going fast.
Ray Wilson's always good for that. You sort of watch him and he does nothing spectacular, and you go, and then you look at his times and it's...
Yeah, Benny used to be a bit like that though, didn't he? But you can see definitely this year, having watched a lot of live streams, sadly enough, haven't been able to be at the events. Ben, I feel his pace has definitely picked up, and he's looking like, I wouldn't say he's on the ragged edge, but he's looking like he's not got a lot left.
He's certainly been more aggressive and just sort of using a bit more of the road, hasn't he?
I think so, yeah. And even when we saw him in the dip, coming down the dip there, you saw the car unsettling, that unsprung weight. And Ben, for me, I just can't see what he needs to do to beat Hayden. I really can't. I can't see any more in the car. And I mean, they're the same cars. It's must be frustrating for him. But in saying that, he's hopefully going to win a championship today.
Yeah, he's odds on.
Can't be that frustrating. I'd love a championship.
Really, would it be good?
Yeah, it's been a while. Hey, I've had a couple of those. Come on.
So we see Anthony Zoe Jones.
Yeah, great peddler.
BDA Escort.
Cool sounding car. Listen to it coming up. Oh, just beautiful in that airbox. Couple of pops.
That is just iconic rallying,
It's
isn't it?
so cool. Little flick at the end. I'm sure he just does that on purpose.
Yeah, there's a crowd here.
Yeah.
Don't waste a good crowd.
Yeah, just give it a little flick. It doesn't take much of the time off.
Yeah.
Great ground speed and nothing like the sound of a BDA.
No, exactly right. I may have mentioned that once or twice across the year on the live stream.
And the fact that he's not afraid of it, you know.
No, he does. He grabs it by the scruff of the neck.
He does. Drives it proper.
It's no sight quite like that of a well-driven BDA Escort, and he's on track to win the Motorguard Trophy, which is a pretty cool trophy.
How cool is that?
That'd be the third time that Anthony and Zoe actually, as a combination, have won it.
Wow, putting their stamp on that trophy, and of course that trophy has huge history.
Yeah, 1978 it was first presented to the winner of Rally New Zealand, so names like Russell Brooks, Hanu Mikula,
wow,
Timo Salonen, Jim Donald, I think, won that.
That's
and
fantastic.
Bjorn Voldegaard, so...
You know so much about it, and you weren't even born, Blair. 78, I was 7.
I was minus 11.
Yeah, there you go. You weren't even in the picture.
Yeah, I may have looked at that trophy once or twice over the years and studied up. It's very, very cool trophy and reintroduced for the historic component of the Whangarei rally up here.
Yeah, I thought it was a great idea to reintroduce it, and it has it spurred on a few extra competitors.
Names like Marcus Van Klink, Tony Gosling,
100%.
Jones.
Tony, that's right, Tony won it, yeah. Who we got here?
So, just got as we see Eugene Crune, Philippe Delroux, New Caledonian visitors.
Yeah, definitely their confidence is growing as well. Of course, the track's sweeping off, so makes it a little bit easier on that blind turn in, and you could just see the grip straight away as they turned that car and got the rotation happening in the rear.
So, got a few people asking, Dill, whether you'll be back for any live streams in the future. We, of course, got you here this afternoon on special stage number 16.
I'd really love to be back in a car, of course.
Yeah,
but,
yeah. We're not go into contract negotiations.
Not sure how that's going to turn out. So, yeah, don't know. I mean, I'd love to. Renee, my wife, has said she'd prefer not to see me in a car. Not that it's coming from her, but she said she's happy for me to do as many live streams as I want.
Excellent.
I've explained to her that the cars are safe, but she just says you do tend to crash a lot, hun. And I said, well, you've got to break a few eggs to make an omelette, sweetheart.
Yeah,
you know?
Exactly.
Yeah, look, hopefully I can get to a couple of rounds next year. It's been a pleasure, and I've really enjoyed it. And the professionalism of the live stream this year, we've seen it grow from, like I say, you and Simon outstanding with your iPhones and patchy service to now we've got a van, we've got incredible directors,
proper broadcast setup. It really is very cool.
It's still pretty low budget. We haven't got the big budget of Sky Network behind us or anything, but we're getting there. And like I say, we're looking for a couple of sponsors. We want a drone sponsor. If anyone knows anyone that wants a little bit of coverage, we get worldwide coverage. You'd be surprised how many people listen and watch
right around the world, and strong numbers. More than 20,000 people watching yesterday's live streams.
Fantastic. Who we got here, BB?
So this will be Ant Torito and Blair Howlett. Little Honda Civic. Bringing the neck of it.
Away they are. They've really got it by the scruff of it. Look at the rotation. Nearly a spin there, but
that was on the limit, wasn't it?
I can't believe how quick that straightened, actually. But no, well done. Great to see a little bit of. It's been a little bit straight and tidy the last 4 or 5 cars.
You had no risk of that with Ant there, was there?
No, definitely not. Well, we probably just need to get those sponsors back up on the screen so we can thank them. Of course, New Zealand Rally Championship brought to you by Brian Green. Oh, we're going to go straight into a replay. Scruff of the neck, look at it. Bang, the big Scandi. Woo! Good flick. See, that rotation was so quick.
Yeah, quite often with the Hondas, they set them up quite stiff in the rear and just drive them entirely on the front, get a good diff in them, and the rear will just follow us. Now we're into the minute gaps, and we see Julian Longley and Fleur Pedersen, Vanuatu visitors.
Good to all of the road again. Nice. Great Impreza sound.
Yeah, absolutely. Great. Yeah, it's fantastic to just have these guys that choose New Zealand.
Exactly. And there's our sponsors, of course, Cream Insurance, MRF Tyres. Look fantastic to have them on board this year. Lifted the professionalism of the championship no end. And, of course, Brian Green, we've had him for a long time. The Statesman will see him shortly coming through. Amiga Rentals, they go pretty good.
Yeah.
Well, I could hardly keep up with you, Blair, on the way here. And, of course...
it was nice and comfortable. Yeah, just a nice, comfy drive in the countryside in the Amiga rental car.
No speed limits broken because we've got a police officer in the car. Yep. And, of course, Mitre 10 Mega, our round sponsor in Whangarei. Awesome to see the Park Ferme there last night. And I had some pretty good feedback from some friends of mine who've texted me and told me awesome to see so many locals coming out and enjoying the rally cars.
Yeah, it's always a really well supported event up here, isn't it? In Whangarei, the community get right in behind it, and it's really cool to see.
It is, and like I say, we're not thankless. We try to thank them. Of course, we use their roads, and look, some of the residents get a bit annoyed with us using their roads, but I tell you what, we take a lot of boy races. You know, there's been so much competitive talk about these boy races racing around their roads and doing donuts and things like that. You know, look, I'm not going to say I was one of them, but I could have gone that way, but I decided to go down the professional way, joined a car club, you know, became a rally driver and went that way instead. And that's what we're trying to do as a car club, as a championship. We're trying to bring those people and put them into a position, you know, where they can drive a car and have some fun, but legally do it.
Yeah, you know, it's so accessible at the autocross and gymkhana level, you know, just a warrantable car. And as we see McRae Sloper and Nicky Gibbs.
Never one to not ham it up to a crowd. Beautiful.
That was well tipped in, wasn't it?
Yeah, well tipped in. He carried some good pace down through the dipper too. You know, nicely set up car that. It didn't squirm too much in the dipper. And then just got on that right pedal and, you know, rear wheel drive. The good thing is you drive the car with the rear wheels.
Yeah, absolutely. And he was one running around last night looking for some MRFs. Didn't come here with any MRFs. I think he's seen the light now.
Yeah, no, exactly. Good tyres.
So someone sold him some dodgy second-hand jobbies.
They were brand new. And they were extra hards as well. So they were from a past sponsor of mine. But, yeah, no, he's going good on the MRS. Good to see.
So it should be, is Brent Taylor next?
I think he was out, wasn't he? We didn't see him in the first pass.
No, we definitely saw him.
Did we?
No, this is Brian Green.
Go Greenie. Look at him go.
Himself. Brian Green.
Break, tips it in.
Nicely done. Great to see him back out there. Had a few health woes this year that we saw him miss a couple of rounds, but he's so excited to be back behind the wheel. Fantastic to see. I mean, just cannot speak highly enough of the man. More than 50 years of rallying.
Just incredible, isn't it? And yeah, look, he's given so much back to the sport as well. He's not a taker. You know, Brian Green is just a gentleman. Yeah, you want to have a chat to somebody in motorsport, you know, go and talk to Green. He's got so many stories. He'll just sit you down and he'll make you laugh for probably 20 minutes, half an hour until your flipping sides hurt. Yeah. He's just got so many. Ask him for the clean ones if you like.
Yeah, we'll start on level A.
Yeah. As the red wines flow.
I remember saying there was a couple of years ago, Kingsley Jones got, as we see, Dave Strong.
Dave Strong.
He'd have a couple of stories to tip in there too.
He's another one, isn't he? Yeah, beautifully done. Nicely through there. And, of course, I don't know. I mean, Dave looked like he might have closed up the gap a bit there on Greenie. I don't know if that was a minute.
I know that these two love to battle, so we'll keep an eye on those split times.
What's the only cars in it, as Greenie always tells you. I think he likes to beat the new Cowboys, and I think he stopped looking at their times a little bit yesterday. He says,
really hard on us.
They've gone too far. Those boys are crazy. I'll stick with Strongy. But he was 35 seconds up on Strongy, I think, at mid-morning, so he was smiling. He was a happy man.
Yes. He likes to set his targets. He's certainly not out there for a Sunday drive, but I remember him telling me a story one time when Kinkley Jones had got stuck in a culvert. I know that's unheard of. It's,
Culvert Kings.
And one Andrew Hawkswood landed his helicopter and
I remember that one.
Helped him retrieve his car from the culvert. And, of course, Greenie had a story to go along with that, which I'll tell you after we see Willie Hawes and
Willie
Jason
Hawes
Dwyer.
coming up.
2 out of 86 in there.
Nice speed coming up to the junction. Dips it in.
Doing what they can to be open two-wheel drive champions. A finish will get them there. So Greenie said to me, I had a crash once, and I think it was might have been Whangarei.
Yep.
Down by Gisborne there.
Cool stage.
Generally, the reward after the motor is sort of how that's referenced. And he says, we had this crash, and the car was across the middle of the road, and there was this helicopter hanging around, and so we managed to hook the tow rope up to the helicopter, and next thing I do, I run up the road to wave everyone down, and next thing I turn around and there's my rally car 30 feet in the air with the co-driver still strapped into it.
You are kidding. I've never heard that story. No way. Oh my goodness.
He's sitting there going, anyway, the car got repositioned and was all good.
Oh gee, frying pan fire rings a bell. Oh, that's awesome. So that was not Helicopter Corner. That was not how Helicopter Corner was named.
We see Jared Parker, and he is now 2-time Rally Challenge two-wheel drive champion after his efforts yesterday, and what a fantastic improvement we've seen from Jared across the season. Very clean, very tidy there.
Jared's done well. He's had a great season, and such a beautifully presented car. That Golf, colour scheme on it. Is there rumours of him maybe stepping up to a better car? Have I heard something?
Potentially, maybe for 2026 we're hearing.
Oh, 26, okay.
Yeah, so they really do operate on the smell of an oily rag, that team.
We've all been there.
In terms of budget, and do a fantastic job. A lot of professionalism within that.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, like you say, for a low budget team, beautifully presented, you wouldn't know from an outsider looking in.
No, not at all. Always having a laugh, doing things properly, a great team environment, which we see right through the service park in the Brian Green Property Group New Zealand Rally Championship. As now we see
the Impreza,
George and Hamish Feast. So we've seen Dad Gav earlier on. Now we got the lads.
I just love the backfire. Just proper. Goes through your belly and your chest, that backfire. The anti-lag. For those of you that don't know what anti-lag is, it keeps your turbo spinning. So it's releasing a little bit of petrol through the engine, but of course by retarding the ignition, it's a bit confusing now, but by retarding the ignition it doesn't burn off until it hits the red hot extractors, and that gets your turbo spinning. That's anti-lag explained in 5 seconds.
Exactly right. So effectively the spark plug fires when the fuel's not there, and
exactly.
The fuel goes straight through those.
Ignites on the extractors because they're red hot, of course, and it ignites straight away, keeps the little impeller spinning, or the exhaust wheel spinning. Instant power.
So we see Mark Huband, another one of the local lads.
Nice and tidy through there.
So one of our viewers asking where the Brian Green Escort WRC car. That car did actually appear for sale, I think, earlier in the year. It is back in the UK.
It's gone back to the UK, is it?
Yeah, went back. Greenie sold that probably 6 or 7 years ago to another New Zealand collector, and then it
Kempy's Museum, wasn't it? I think I saw it.
Yes, yeah, that was when Greenie owned it.
Was it? Okay.
It actually got picked up from Kempy's Museum, I think.
That's
actually
right.
Greenie's got a funny story about how that happened too in the negotiation.
Like I say, sit down with Brian Green, ask him a story. Cool car, I remember when that car was brand new out of the box, and boy, everyone was so excited to watch Greenie.
Oh, such a special car.
One of my first rallies in Taranaki Tarmac Rally, I remember Greenie was right up there. I think he might have even won it in that car. And the Massport Escort.
Paul Fraser, Mark Parsons.
Now, is this a BDA or not?
Yes, this is a BDA.
It is a BDA.
Yep.
Cool.
Yep, so Paul just needs to finish
two veterans coming up there. Oh, beautifully tipped in. Look at that.
Nice. He's always good for a crowd, is Paul.
Don't waste a crowd. Very important.
And with Mike Cameron's DNF yesterday, they are running again today, but Paul will be crowned the New Zealand historic champion.
That's fantastic. I mean, bad that the Camerons, obviously, a bit of bad luck, but that's absolutely amazing.
Well, for Helen, it's bragging rights in the house because she is the co-drivers champion.
That's always a bit difficult at dinner parties, isn't it? And we do see that quite often, with changes of co-drivers. You'd be surprised that happens more often than not.
Yeah, I think Paul's Mark would be co-driver number 4 for the season.
There you go.
Had a few 3s. Robbie Stokes on 3. Emma Gilmore on 3.
Yep. Yeah, true. I think Emma's pretty settled now with Malcolm.
Yes, yeah. And
dare I say it, how am I coming back?
Yeah, Adrian Sutton and Stephen Dill. Yeah, that driver-co-driver relationship, and it can be so funny and finicky, can't it? You have two very good people, but they just don't gel together in the car.
Yeah, 100%. You've got to understand each other's strengths and weaknesses, and because if you focus too much, you piss your driver off. Trying to tell your driver how to drive is probably not a good call. Yep. But telling your driver when they're struggling and just giving them that little bit of encouragement, and I think that's what Emma needed this year. She had a bit of a shaky start, and of course had a pretty scary year last year with that rollover in the is it Rally Extreme series?
Extreme E, yeah.
Extreme E, that definitely knocked her confidence, and I think she probably had some pretty bad concussion for a bit of time there, and coming back from something like that.
Yeah, really interesting having a conversation with her around that process, the recovery. She's third fastest, so we got the top 3 times through special stage 14 Waipu Caves, the last one before the lunch service.
Third fastest, that's fantastic.
Yeah, Hayden Paddon there with an 8-minute 56.7 second time. Ben Hunt second fastest on a 9:15.5, so 18.8 seconds there. Consistent. And a 15.5k stage, so again around that 1.1.
Just pushed out a little bit there. He's probably easing off now to administer the gap. I mean, there's not too much of a point. How far behind's third behind him? Is it Emma or no? It's not Emma, is it?
It's Dylan, but it's around 2 and just over 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Emma Gilmore's time a 9:21.8, so 6.3 off Hunt. So 3 more stages to go for Ben Hunt. He's ticking all the boxes, Dylan Turner.
He's ticking all the boxes. I mean, I'm a little bit excited. Ben's almost my neighbour. He's another Pookie boy. I mean, I know the South Islanders had to give him up for him to come up to Auckland. We wouldn't call him an Aucklander. He's a Franklin boy now. Yeah. And we've got the Camerons coming up. Of course, our last car.
Yeah, Mike and Helen Cameron.
We'll continue the conversation about Emma when we come back to the stream next time.
Of course, a massive thank you to Brian Green Property Group, MRF Tyres.
It's good speed for the Camerons.
They're going well. They're going well.
Not bad.
Omega Rental Cars and Cream Insurance for their continued support of the Brian Green Property Group New Zealand Rally Championship. Don't forget to join us again this afternoon. Special stage number 16. Check out the details on the New Zealand Rally Championship Facebook page for that one. Of course, you can keep an eye on the results at ChrisSport, www.chrissport.co.nz. Sorry, fantastic job that team does to keep us all in the loop.
And who's going to be our champion? Is it going to be Ben Hunt or is it going to be Hayden Paddon? Can't wait. Looking forward to the afternoon loops.